Hello, everybody. Welcome to the TriStar Gym channel. Today's episode, we're going to be doing another Ask Me Anything. Guys, don't forget, I released the brand new Buried Alive Guard Pressure Passing video, Volume 1. It is already one of my best selling videos of all time. You guys will absolutely love it. Check out Buried Alive Volume 1. I promise you, you will crush people with these techniques. We've been doing this, we've been perfecting this system for over 20 years. How to crush a man with your weight when you're on top of him. It is fantastic. You're going to love it. Guys, don't forget, check out Apex Meditation, #1 meditation app in the game for those of you who want to change the way you think. You want to meditate on the highest level of ideas. Guys, I'm going to be kicking it off in the comments section. Let me know if the volume is good. If you guys are hearing me loud and clear, that's always great to hear. And of course, I will be going in the comment section and answering your most pertinent questions. Okay, lots of comments coming in. I think lockdown and electric chair are very way too underappreciated, especially octopus guard to lockdown and toe hold. Well, guys, look, I'll tell you something. Electric chair is a great move. It's a great move, and I find some people have a really good lockdown. You know, they get you in a lockdown, it feels like your knee's gonna break. You know, it feels like your knee's gonna break, and it's super powerful, super tight. I'm not one of those guys. Like some people are so like have long legs and they're very flexible and nimble. I use the lockdown just to kind of like push the guy back, create space, and I like a different game. I'm not a big electric chair guy, okay, but I know there's a lot of guys out there who do electric chair very well. So I teach electric chair every so often. I teach it. Why? Because I feel if I don't teach it, my students will get caught in it. You know, they'll go compete and they never seen it before. And also, I might have some really good electric chair guys in the future that are gonna just like the move. You know, sometimes I teach moves that I don't particularly love. You know, I think they're good, but they're not the best. But I see other black belts make it work. I see other guys really liking it, other students. So I teach it. I really believe that style is one thing. I have my style, you have your style. It doesn't matter, you know, like as long as the style is working for you. Styles, you know, Marcelo Garcia, he grappled very differently than Roger Gracie, very differently. Both incredible fighters, both legends. So I love electric chair, but it's not my go-to move. I think it's good. It's not the best for me, but I've seen guys. I've trained with guys really strong with electric chair. I've been swept with electric chair. I'm like, wow, the guy got me with it, you know. And electric chair, if you don't want to get tapped out, all you got to do is go to the bottom. You have to yield to the. It's either you get tapped or you roll over and you get swept. It's you're in a dilemma. And if you know how to stop electric chair, you just got to give the guy the sweep. If he's on top of you, he won't be able to finish. But other than that, I think it's a great grip because it works even in sweaty conditions. That's what I like about it, and that's why I teach it every so often. Okay, let me see here. I sent a super chat a couple of months ago. How you inspired me from JRE to start MMA. I had my debut last weekend. Unanimous decision win. All love to you, coach. That's from Samzat. Samzat. Thank you very much, man. I'm glad to hear that I got you away. I got you away from the desk job, perhaps the desk job to do an MMA fight. That's pretty cool, man. Winning by a unanimous decision. I know what it's like to compete and win. It's a great feeling. I probably think it's maybe the greatest feeling. One of the greatest feelings you can have. Competing and winning is just such an adventure, especially in combat sports. It's something very, very special. So congratulations to you, Mr. Samzat. I'm very, very happy to hear that. Can I learn fighting from YouTube if I don't have a gym near me? That's from Moata. Moata, yeah, you could, but to a certain level, it's not bad. But you need a practice room full of other guys training because you're not gonna get to that same level. You'll get good training by yourself, you know, YouTube video, a couple of neighbors. I started like that. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But can you reach the highest levels? Highly unlikely. Okay, if you want to really perfect your game, train in your garage. You have no gyms near you, but once in a while, go out there and find a gym that's very has a good rep and go mix it up. That's what I used to do. I used to travel all the way to New York City to do jiu-jitsu because there wasn't any jiu-jitsu on the Montreal island. The mic is a little bit scratchy. Okay, let me turn down the gain. Turning down the gain. Does McGregor still secretly watch your streams? That's from Tenacity. I don't know. I don't know. He hasn't spit fire at me in a long time. He hasn't insulted me in a long time. So I don't know. Maybe he comes across my videos every so often. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Maybe he's too rich now to listen to this poor man's podcast. Hey coach, I saw your video on discipline and habits and not missing habits. It changed my life. That's from Shiv. Shiv, I will tell you that's one of the most important things. Plan out your daily routine. Make your daily routine so powerful that you're able to reach your goals. What's your goal? X is your goal. Well, let me ask you about your daily routine, man. Is your daily routine designed to get to that goal? If it's not, that's not really your goal. Guys, these lights are too bright. They're killing me. If your daily routine, if I look at your daily routine and it's not, if you're telling me, hey, I want to lose 20 pounds and I want to become a PhD. And I'm like, okay, what'd you do this morning? I played video games, ate some chips and chocolate bars and cookies. Did you hit the books? Nah, I did that a little bit later. Then I kind of got distracted. No, it's not, you're never going to make it. I want to hear, I got up in the morning, I did 20 minutes of cardio on an empty stomach, then I hit the books. I hate this stupid thing. Every time I flare my thumb, the thumb comes. Technology. Interrupted a really good little segment here I was doing. Every day you got to wake up and you got to attack your goals. Your routine has to be designed. Your daily routine has to be designed to get to your goals. If it's not, you're wasting a day of your life. And those days, they add up. They add up and they add up. And sooner or later, those goals that seem kind of out of reach are suddenly becoming closer and closer, and they become a reality. And it is a great feeling to achieve your goals. It is a phenomenal feeling. Hey coach, long time listener, first time I've caught you live. Greetings from Siros in Greece. That's from Alex. Alex, thank you very much, man. I'd love to visit Greece. I have a lot of Greek friends. I grew up with a lot of Greeks in my school, packed with Greeks. And I wish to visit Greece one day, definitely, no doubt. So I hope one day I visit in Greece, my friend, and we train together. I'll definitely want to do a seminar when I'm in Greece. Coach, what's your favorite style of boxing? Cuban, Mexican, American, or Soviet? I love them all. I love them all. I love them all. I practice them all. I admire them all. I don't think there's one style that's superior to the other. Generally speaking, the Cuban style is a touch and go style. It's a touch and go style. Generally speaking, you have bangers, you have sluggers, definitely. Mexican style, they're in your face. They're putting you in the phone booth and they're chipping away at you and they're tough and rough and they're in there tight. American style, well, you have a lot of diversity, but it's more of, Philly shell, one hand down. Of course, not all of them. I'm generalizing, but the Americans brought that kind of fighting to the table. The hands down fighting. At least one hand is down. And the stick and move, pick and poke, but they're looking for the KO. That's something the Cubans didn't have. The Cubans were more tag. It was more tag. Okay, that's why they did so good in the amateurs, but not so well in the professionals. Okay, in the professional boxing, they didn't do as well because the Cuban boxers were very dominant in the amateur circuit on the world stage, like Olympics. They always win the gold, but the Americans would beat them in professional boxing. Why? The Americans were looking for the kill shot. They would accumulate more damage than Cubans. Soviet, I love the Soviet style. It's very weird. It might feel a little weird for a lot of Americans who are watching it because they bounce a lot and they have very different punching mechanics. And I think that kind of punching style works very well in MMA. So that's why I admire a lot of Russian boxers as well. Coach, how do you list your Jiu-Jitsu club courses chronologically for a beginner starting MMA? That's from Shake. Shake, go to catalog, go to basics. You'll see the basics and you're going to see basics videos. All the videos I recommend for beginners. Okay. Now, obviously, I would recommend you start with volume 1, Advanced Basics volume 1, then volume 2, then volume 3. Those are the first 3 volumes I think you should do if you're getting into Jiu-Jitsu. So check out the catalog section at Juji Club, make sure to plug in the 50% promo code, guys. It says the promo code is get 50 off. It's on your screen. It's in the description. And for the guys with a little bit more experience, the guys who've been training jiu-jitsu, make sure to get Buried Alive. It's already, I think it's going to be the best-selling video ever made. It's going up there. The numbers are up there. It's moving. Check it out. Get it. You will love it. What's your opinion on Filipino martial arts, like knife defense / attacks? That's from Miller Lite. Miller Lite, you know, they say if you take a Filipino's knives away, if you take all his knives away, he still has 3 knives on him. That's what they say. I like Filipino martial arts. You know, I find it's cool. I've seen them train. I just don't know how realistic it is. I'll be honest with you, because for me, we got to go live. Like, you got to give me a rubber knife, and you got to tell me that guy's an knife expert, and we're gonna spar in a safe way. And he's got to show me what he's got. You know, but I still think the most dangerous martial artist with a knife, in my opinion, is an MMA fighter. You know, because I remember we had these toy knives once upon a time that buzz and turn on, like there's a light that goes on and it buzzes when you apply pressure on the knife, so it simulates a cut. And the MMA guys got it, and we were fighting and we were scrapping with them. And let me tell you something: a lot of our MMA skills came in handy. First of all, footwork, the boxing jab, distance control, grabbing onto the guy's knife, wrestling him to the ground. So for me, like, I'll be amazed if a Filipino martial arts expert came in and whooped us MMA guys with a knife. It would blow my mind. I would become a Filipino martial arts student. That's for sure, no doubt. Okay, I just have a hard time seeing it in my head and believing it. I would love to see somebody demonstrate it in real time. Coach, have you seen the U.S. and Israel merging their military? That's from Hanimali. I will tell you, that's a disaster. That's a disaster. For me, if you ask me, that's treason, man. Name me another type of treason. Name me, what is treason? You guys tell me, what is treason? These politicians are bought, sold out, paid for, and they're merging their military. They're giving their intelligence to a foreign nation that's obviously got their politicians in a vice. They're bribing them and blackmailing them. Like, how could anybody argue against that? I got to turn off the light, guys. My light's like burning my eyes. How could anybody argue against that? They're bribing. They're blackmailing your politicians. And now they're merging the militaries. Yeah, it's because your politicians are bribed and blackmailed. Why would you want to merge with a foreign country? So they can siphon all your income, so they can siphon all your money, so they can get you into wars you don't need to be in, so that your children, your young men can go out and die in wars that don't benefit you whatsoever. And they're going to pick a lot of wars. Let me tell you something. You ever seen the movie, what's it called, that movie? Game of Thrones. You ever see that movie, Game of Thrones? That show, excuse me. Israel is Joffrey. You ever see the boy king? He was a boy king, and he thinks everybody should be at his feet. He has no wisdom. He has all this power, but no wisdom. Israel is a very young nation. They have a lot of power with no wisdom. They made them too powerful in the region. They gave them nuclear weapons. They gave them all sorts of military strength, and they're mad with power. They're mad with power. They're starting a fight with everybody and anybody all the time. They're already talking about going to war with Turkey. The wars ain't even over in the region. There's no stability in the region. They're already thinking about the next war. You know why they're thinking about the next war? Let me tell you why they think about next war. Because they make money. The politicians are getting rich. So these politicians want to merge their machine together. Why? It ensures that America is going to have more war, more military spending, more ammunitions needed, more conflict, more beef. What do they care? The more war there is, the more money they make. America got rich after World War II. How? The war. That's how they got rich. That's how they got out of the Great Depression. And they've been running that formula over and over again. They're running that formula over and over again. And a select few are getting rich. Many people are suffering and dying. And the collective, the citizens of the United States, they're getting poorer and poorer. It's very sad. It's a very sad reality. And I hope it doesn't go through. I hope there's some kind of movement or rebellion or some kind of major objection to this move. Coach, did GSP tear his ligaments in both knees or one knee? Is it true if you tear an ACL in one knee, then statistically you will tear the other one too? That's from Papa Fo. Yeah, that's what we're told by the that's what we're told by his surgeon. Okay, and the physiotherapist, and we had a special trainer we hired. We knew that on average in 2 years, about the other knee is likely to tear, especially for the level of training George St. Pierre is exposing his body to. Now, we knew that. I hired the best experts in the world. I got them on board, and we still couldn't prevent it. That's why I went like a little bit, not bananas, but I really went deep into the rabbit hole about knees. Because yes, I was studying, I was training with SSL, Gavin McMillan. I was even corresponding with, I'm forgetting his name now, Marinovich, getting advice from everybody, all the top experts, the guys who work with NFLers, NBAers, Tiger Woods, all the top guys. What's your solution? And of course, we even had a call with Tom Brady, believe it or not. Okay. And I'll tell you a funny story. George St. Pierre didn't even know who Tom Brady was. I'm like, George, this is the greatest, arguably the greatest quarterback in the history of the sport. And he took his time to call George and talk to him about ACL recovery. Like, it's amazing. Tom Brady's a gentleman. He's a gentleman and a scholar, a really great guy. He probably doesn't watch MMA. George doesn't watch football. Okay. But it's kind of embarrassing that George doesn't know who the man is. I'm like, George, you don't have to know who he is, but he's arguably one of the greatest football players in history. No, he's arguably the greatest NFL quarterback in history. And we knew we had this information, and then he popped his knee. Now, of course, when George St. Pierre pops his knee, it hits the piggy bank hard, right? He's making tons of money. So we invested heavily in not letting that happen, trying to avoid that from happening. But unfortunately, we weren't successful. But, lo and behold, I've since then learned so much about knees and preparation that I could tell you I've had very few athletes get injured now. Very few. Very, very few. Like, I have several fighters that are in their 30s, well into their 30s in the UFC, no ACL tear. So we're training again. The new generation, we're training smarter, better, and we're using the strong and stable principles to do it. Coach, what is your number one Thai plum escape? That's from Andrew Smart. Andrew Smart. It's kind of hard to explain, but I usually pinch their wrist, grab the back of their neck, and I rotate hard towards the wrist I'm pinching, and it pops it off. And I use this all the time. I find it's very reliable. One day I'll be doing a Muay Thai clinch video, no doubt about it. I spent many months in Thailand doing Thai clinch and training there. I used to go to Thailand every summer, 2 to 3 months of summer. And I will tell you, we did tons of Thai clinch. How do I know if I should rest one day or just keep pushing? That's from Julian. Julian, that's a good question. Look, I would tell you, I train 6 days a week, and I do active rest. When I'm not feeling good, I'm not feeling energetic, I'm not feeling motivated, I do technique, and then I'll just kind of stretch, do mobility drills, do a lot of stability training, something recovery, something therapeutic. Because I use like the stability ball quite a bit when I'm feeling burnt out, because it's not hard on the body, it's not impactful, it doesn't tear down the muscle. It's more of a proprioception workout. It will definitely allow for blood flow. Okay, you want blood flow. You want to eat right. You want blood flow. So you want to do a basic warm up. So if you're not going to train today, if you don't feel like you want to train, do the warm up. Warm up with technique. Keep the warm up going long enough. You might change your mind. You might start feeling better. Or if you're still not feeling good, that's it. It's enough. Because the warm up, a long warm up, will help you recover. Why? You're circulating the blood. You're getting the blood flow, and blood flow brings the nutrients to the muscles, to the body. Okay, so your nervous system needs to recover. Your muscles need to recover. So for me, when I'm not feeling up to it, I do an active rest. What is an active rest? Think about it as a long warm up, a really long warm up that you do for an hour. Coach, why do I really dislike Ian Gary? I appreciate that he's a good fighter, but dang, I can't get behind him. That's from Red Panda, guys, I've met the guy. He's a sweetheart. He's a gentleman. He's a really sweet guy. And I like how he handled himself with the Shamaev. Shamaev, there's like this backstage issue where Shamaev wanted to fight with him, and Ian handled it beautifully. I don't know what I don't know what got into Shamaev, but Shamaev was like, "Hey man, let's go right now. Let's fight right now." And he's shoved him, and Ian's like, "Hey man, you're the champ. You don't need to fight nobody. We'll see you in the octagon one day." Like he was really wow. His character, wow. And look, I think he's a credible fighter. He's a young guy. He's getting a lot of fame, and he's handling it well. And he carries himself well. So I don't know what you don't like about him. I think he's quite a stellar human being. It's treason by definition, coach. That's from Ghost Trap. I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. Giving intelligence and power and assets to another foreign nation. It's outright, and they do it openly. They do it openly, and there's nothing you can do about it. And there's nothing I can do about it. There's not. It's just crazy, man. It's just really, it's insanity. If truth can't be contradictory, according to Aristotle, how can hermeticism, truths come in polarity, and claim opposites are the same in degree? Thoughts? Well, I'm not sure what hermetism is. Okay, there's an infinite amount of isms. I'm not sure what hermetism, excuse me. Truths come in polarity and claim opposites are the same in degree. Well, what is the opposite of left? It's right. Right is the opposite of left. Left is the opposite of right. Is that a question of degree? When I go right, is that a degree of left that I'm using? I don't think that makes any sense. So I could understand hot and cold. You could say, look, because here's what they're going to tell you. They're going to tell you, look, is this water cold or hot? You put your hand in it and you're like, oh, it's warm. Okay, let me heat up your hand in this really hot, much hotter water, really, really hot water. And then you put your hand back in that first vat of water that you put your hand in. And now all of a sudden it's cool. It's refreshing. So it's relative, you see. Yeah, in that sense, yeah, I could say. But there are contradictions. There are opposites that are unreconcilable. So Aristotle, what he says about the law of non-contradiction, he's saying you can't have P and not P. So a proposition and not the proposition. So for instance, if I say Coach Zahabi is the most handsome man in the world, and then I say it's also true that Coach Zahabi is the least handsome man in the world, and I claim both those are true, it's not possible. Okay? Or how about I say this? Coach Zahabi is taller than 6 foot, and then I say it's also true that Coach Zahabi is shorter than 6 foot. Both can't be true. If I say on this date, Coach Zahabi is taller than 6 feet, and on the very same date, he's shorter than 6 feet. That's proposition that he's taller than 6 feet, and proposition that he's not taller than 6 feet. He's shorter than 6 foot. They're contradictory. You cannot. It's not a question of degrees. So in some instances, you can have a question of degrees, and in some instances, it cannot be a question of degrees. So a lot of people say ridiculous things sometimes, but then you ask them for demonstrations, and they can't show them to you. They can't give them to you. So I would ask a hermetist. Okay, I would ask him, how is it that you can have P and not P? And I bet you he would tell you, no, that's not what we meant. It's probably what you might be confusing. Because I doubt hermetists would tell you the law of non-contradiction is false. I highly doubt it. Looking huge, coach. Good hustle, guys. It's time to get really jacked and huge. No, I am. I put on some muscle. Definitely put on some muscle. I've been doing a much higher dose of protein. Guys, still 100% natural, of course. Still 100% natural. But I definitely put on some size. Definitely, no doubt. I just cranked up the protein. I'm taking 2 scoops of protein a day. So that's 60, just for my scoops of protein, 60 grams of protein. And I'm probably eating 1 or 2 protein bars a day plus my food. So I'm hitting 200 to 300 grams of protein a day easily. And it's really made a big difference. I still eat carbs. I'm still doing low fat. But I just found better ways to introduce protein. And I'm keeping it all about 2,500 calories. So I'm working out. I'm using a ratio, a protein ratio. I have this whole new formula I eat with. I changed my formula, but I'm still low carb, high protein, high carb. Excuse me. Did I say low carb? Excuse me. Low fat. I'm still high protein, high carb, and I'm low fat. Today I had. Let me tell you what I had today. Today my protein was a little bit low, but I hit 32 grams of fat. Okay, so I'm still 32 grams of fat. I typically will have 200 to 300 grams of protein a day. And it's really helped me put on the muscle, guys. I'm telling you, eating the right amount of protein makes such a difference. But I would never go carnivore. That's unsustainable. It's a boring way to eat. I hate that. I really despise it. What I do is I do a protein ratio. So let's say my breakfast is 400 calories. I got to have 400 grams. If my breakfast is 400 calories, I got to have 40 grams of protein. So you divide the calories by 10, you should have about that much protein. So if my meal is 1,000 calories, I got to have 100 grams of protein in that meal. All right. So I do it that way. And I can have carbs. I can have whatever I want. Normally in the morning, I have 2 toasts, 2 eggs, and a scoop of protein. That'll bring the ratio up. So I'm just basically adding more protein into my diet. I use powder, but I do a beef powder. Guys, forget whey. Whey is the worst, man. I don't know why I was doing whey for so long. Whey gives you so much gas. Beef protein, man. It's powdered protein. It derives from beef, and it's so much easier to digest. For me personally, it's a dream. I have 0 gas, but when I take a lot of protein, it kills my stomach. Like I'm farting, I'm bloating. I hate it. I can't stand it. I can't stand being gassy. That's why I stopped doing all the protein shakes, because of the unbelievably uncomfortable digestion. But now that I'm using a beef-based protein powder, unbelievable. I have it in my coffee in the morning. I have a cold coffee in the afternoon. Sometimes it's summertime, it's hot. I enjoy my 2 scoops of protein, and I have 0 digestive distress. It's amazing, guys. Get the beef protein. Try it out. Will philosophy be more relevant in the future because of AI? That's from EA3410. I think so. I think people are going to have more access to information, and they're going to ask AI to kind of like make it simple. They're going to have conversations with AI, and AI is going to bring a lot of fun and interesting and fascinating philosophical ideas to light, and it's going to be fun, and it's going to be more of a dynamic way to access information. Okay, because we all have Google, we can research and read. Yeah, but AI does all that for you. It goes and it reads all the text, and it kind of like finds the really important stuff, and it kind of gives it to you in a summary, and it makes it in a fun way, and it could talk to you in a different tone. It can talk to you in a funny way, lighter way, serious way. You could ask it for plain language. You could do so much. You could ask it to elaborate on things you don't understand. You could ask it certain questions. It's so interesting how AI is going to change education, I think. Now, also, AI is going to take our jobs, and I think it's a good thing in the long run. Why? We're all going to have plenty of resources, plenty of extra leisure time. Things are going to become less expensive because AI is doing everything. A plane ticket's going to cost $1. It's probably even going to be free in the distant future. Why? AI is taking everything, guys. We don't need money anymore. Don't worry, money's a thing of the past. Look at Star Trek. I love Star Trek. We're just exploring the universe. We're just doing it for fun. We just want to learn about the world around us. We're fascinated about the world around us. We're fascinated with reality. Why? Because in Star Trek, they have a button. You want to eat something? They push a button. Boom, it synthesizes a meal. You need a surgery? A robot will give you a surgery. Like everything's taken care of. There's no need to go work 10 hours a day. There's no need to create a product or service. AI does anything you want. Absolutely anything you want. So what are human beings going to do? Well, we're going to sit around and we're going to philosophize, and we're going to contemplate our reality. We're going to contemplate the truth. We're going to try to transcend our thoughts. It's going to be an incredible, wondrous period in humanity. Coach, do you know about umbilical hernia and returns to training? That's from I am Angelo Media. No, I've never had one of those, and it doesn't sound fun. But I would tell you, go see your doctor, and then maybe consult with a physiotherapist. But definitely go see your doctor, my man. It sounds painful. I hope you a speedy recovery. Coach, how do you deal with a pinched nerve and shoulder neck area? I would tell you, I do a lot of traction. I have actually a little injury in my neck. I do a lot of traction. I explain it in strong and stable neck. Guys, get strong and stable neck. It's a simple video. It teaches you how to work your traps, how to strengthen your neck without injuring yourself, and also how to use the traction device, how to get one. It's really simple, and how to use it. I do it on a regular basis. It is amazing. Coach, what does Khabib possess that hasn't been replicated in the game of MMA? That's from Hamza Journey. I would say his number one asset that's not been replicated is his robustness. How incredibly resilient he is to fatigue, strikes, pressure, his ability to generate force at all times at high levels. He never wanes. He never seems to slow down. It's frightening in a way because it's just the pressure is so high for so long and it just doesn't even seem to waver in the least. Islam Makhachev is very similar, but when we saw him fight Volkanovski in round 5, you saw him kind of weakening. You saw him kind of hit a wall. He even ended up on the bottom of the fight. He shot, he got punched as he shot, he fell to his back, and you could see, Volk was giving him all he can handle. Now, we've never seen that in Khabib. It's just incredible. Salam for us. Do you do a lot of positional training, and what positions do you train regularly or mostly? That's from MBJJ. I would say, look, I do a lot of guard, both passing and bottom position, like Ashigarami, leg lock, all that's super important. We do a lot of wrestling. So wrestling situations, starting with the underhook, starting with the leg, starting on the waist from the back, like all different kind of wrestling situations. And then we do a lot of chest to back, like turtle stuff, like how to escape the turtle, how to keep the guy down, how to take his back. We do a lot. I'm a big believer in like taking the back, taking the back. All roads should lead to the back. It's the best position. So I would tell you that's where I really focus my team on. Best guards in MMA, in your opinion? I love the K guard. I think the K guard is the best guard. It's the best guard. Close guard is okay, but unless you have plenty of time to work it, 3 rounds, 5 minutes, I don't think it's any good. So for me, it's hip heist, it's butterfly guard, and or K guard. That's the 3 guards I would say are the most important. Hey, coach, it's Angelo. How do you want me to invite Dan John on the podcast? He's waiting for an answer. That's from Angelo. Angelo, my man, how are you? Okay, great to have you. Yes, let me check my WhatsApp. I'm sure we can connect on WhatsApp again, my friend. You're the one who set up the Jay Garfield podcast. And yes, I have to find time to do it because I'm traveling to California very shortly for a fight. So let's aim for September, okay? But September, let's do something good. Coach, have you seen Ian Gary recent interview? He says men need to step down and let women take charge of the world and home matters. LMAO. That's from 33 Larry Bird. He's a young guy. He's a young guy. He's a young guy. He's a great fighter, but doesn't make him a great sociologist. Okay, he's not really. That's not a really wise thing to say. Because I personally, I don't think that's the way to go. But he's a young guy. I think in time he'll get more experience. But letting women rule the world, eesh, that could be a problem. Coach, how diagnose elbow pain at certain angles? That's from Calisthenia. Well, I can't do too many injury questions because it's going to get kind of boring. But check out strong and stable shoulders. It's the same principles you could do with your elbow. I use a sledgehammer for my shoulder. I use a sledgehammer workout, and it's also amazing for elbow. It could be easily strong and stable elbows. Okay, so I use a lot of sledgehammer work, and it's fantastic. Guys, I don't talk about fighters I train and stuff like that. Past fights, I don't do that because it's not professional. Uh, I missed a super chat. All right, I'm being told I missed a super chat. Let me review. Um, can you please do a show with Rabbi Mizrashi? I know that crazy rabbi. I've heard him talk. Listen, he has some pretty crazy clips. He has one crazy clip where he's like, the whole world is idolatry. He basically says there's 6 billion idolaters. He says the Christians are idolaters. He says the Hindus are idolaters. He says the Buddhists are idolaters. He says that the Asians, the Chinese, the Japanese, they're all idolaters. The like he says everybody except the Muslims. So Muslims are a billion, let's say 2 billion. They're a small population. So he says, okay, about 6 billion people. And he's like, what does the Torah say? Death. He's like, what? He's like, what? You want to kill 6 billion people? And I think obviously they clipped it, they passed it around the internet. He's not a sober guy. Okay, that's really ridiculous. That's really absurd. In Judaism, they don't teach you have to kill everybody. It's not idolater. Okay, yeah, it's true in the text. It says you have to unalive the idolater. It's true. It does say that. Okay, but that's after they've come to their senses. They've been preached to. They've heard about one God, and it's not like, oh, eradicate 6 billion people. That's not what Judaism is about. Okay, it's if you have a Jew who goes and becomes an idolater, yes, the punishment is death, guys. It's straight up. It's explicit. It's not like it's not symbolic. No, it's really that's the punishment. Like the text says, you got to off the guy. So yeah, they do have a death punishment for abandoning the faith, worshiping men, worshiping idols, whatever. If you worship a man or an idol or a statue or whatnot, it's definitely death. But it doesn't say you got to kill the whole world. It's just he does a really bad job of teaching Judaism. He does a really bad job. He's too much of a literalist. Everything he says is like purely literal. So he's like a fundamentalist, literalist. He doesn't read in context. So I find he's quite too radical. Okay, here we go. I found Mr. Sean McCormick. Salam, coach. I'm a natural 125 blue belt. How would you overcome adversity against heavier opponents? That's a really difficult question because when you're outweighed, okay, it's really tough. It's really tough. Like 10, 15 pounds makes a big difference. And if you're weighing 125 pounds, you're going to get, a lot of guys in my gym, they call that the victim weight. Oh, he's a victim weight. It's a tough thing. Okay, so I would tell you, number one, look at some of the top players that are small, like Mikey Musumeci, for instance. Look at the kind of guards he plays. He plays K guard. He's everything he does is K guard, K guard, K guard, K guard. Like he funnels everything to K guard. He has certain grips that he knows if he gets to, it doesn't matter. The guy's that much bigger. It matters, but not as much. Okay, I don't want to tell you weight doesn't matter. It does. And when he goes to De La Viva, he gets it to K guard. Like he funnels everything to K guard. He's so good at getting to K guard. And he studied that one guard so well that he figured out that it works against bigger people. So I would tell you, kind of like watch the best small grapplers. What do they do? And in my opinion, it's K guard. That's why I'm so fond of it. So I would tell you, check out Mikey Musumeci's grappling and try to mimic him a little bit. All right. Okay, here we go. I am Angelo. I've already done that one, so I'm gonna skip yours. But thank you, I appreciate it. But I've already talked about this. We did a post-fight, the whole thing about it. But thank you very much. Rabbi Mizrashi, he really popular now because he did that. He did a podcast, and now he's popping up everywhere. Rabbi Mizrashi. Somebody should take the mic away from that guy. He's not good. He's not good on the mic. He's too extreme. He's too wild. He's too crazy. Somebody, please take away his mic. How many commands and signals videos do you plan on releasing? I'm obsessed with them. I'm always bugging my girlfriend to hold for me. LOL. That's some exit plan. Exit plan. I'm gonna do more. I'm gonna do at least 2 more. I know they're really, really good, and I want to eventually get the video to situational sparring. So you're gonna be doing situational sparring, not just techniques. So we got to get to that level. So I think it's gonna be at least 2 more, and then the situational sparring videos, the commands and signals, situational games. But right now, 3 volumes, it's so much. That's so much content. And I want to start certifying people. I'm certifying in-house, then I'm going to take it online. But it is a phenomenal program. Volume 1, 2, and 3 is really, really packed with lots of stuff to work on. Glad you're enjoying it, by the way. Mizrashi versus Sneeko, coach, God Logic, Muhammad Hijab, debate coach. That's from Rainbow. Goodness gracious. That panel will just be yelling, screaming, yelling. It's not. You know what I hate? You know what I hate? I'll tell you what I despise. When 2 people are talking at the same time. It's like, dude, man, like so immature. It's so immature. Like I can't listen to it. I just change the channel. I just can't listen to it. But I love when they take one person takes 2 minutes to talk, the other person takes 2 minutes to talk, or a minute. And even better, there's no time, and they're just like they're courteous and they're open-minded people. They're trying to understand one another's ideas. But a lot of these guys, when they're doing videos, they're just trying to clip. They're just trying to get a clip, like an I got you, and then they want to get viral views to get paid. It's kind of sappy. It's kind of weak. It's kind of weak because you could see that it's all about money. I want to get that money. Oh, that money. I need that clip. It's kind of like too much of that. It's become like a pollution on the internet. It's really a pollution. And I feel like it's got to go away. It's got to go. It's too. It's like having the Maury show. You know, like is the Maury show good? No, it's not good. You can't stop watching it, but man, is it bad? It's the it's the trash of society. We got to get away from that. We got to encourage people not to behave like that. Not, but when it gets popular, more people want to get into it. More people want to behave that way. More people want to jump on the bandwagon. We got to move away from that. Because here's the thing: when you're talking to somebody and they're avoiding your question and they're like reframing your question in a way that doesn't make any sense, just because they don't want to get that I got you. They don't want to get got. They don't want to get got. So they're not interested in opening their minds and letting a new idea in and exchanging ideas. They're not interested in that. All they're interested in is I got to get my clip and I can't get clipped myself. And you could see that game as somebody who's trained in philosophy. I could tell you there are so many logical fallacies stacked up top of one another. There's so many inaccuracies and so many avoidance. The avoidance of questions is staggering. Like I was listening to one crazy lady, and she was saying that no, she's a lawyer, by the way. She was on this newscast, and the news anchor was like, "Are you trying to say that no Israelis have dispossessed Palestinians in the West Bank?" She's like, "No, none of them have been dispossessed. No Palestinians have been dispossessed." It's like, what? That's factually inaccurate. We have video evidence. We have Israelis claiming they're doing it. We have Smotrich saying he's going to do it more. We have the Israeli government admitting to doing it. Like it's completely, they're acknowledging it. And we have every single international community, every single NGO is saying there are war crimes and atrocities. We're witnessing them on a daily basis. You're not, think about this. The press is not allowed in. Why isn't the press allowed in the West Bank? Because they don't want you reporting their crimes. Like, the evidence is so staggering. The evidence is so powerful that this lady, when she said that, the news anchor was like, "We're out of time. I can't talk to you anymore." And he did the right thing. I think he did the right thing. It's so blatantly disgusting. It's so like she's insulting the audience's intelligence. She's basically telling the audience, "Look, if I don't admit it, you can't prove it's true. It doesn't. There has. It's like, lady, we know it's happening. We could see it with our own eyes. And if you don't admit it, we just think you're crazy. We just think you're so bought and paid for. We just lost total respect for you. You haven't won any points with us. You haven't convinced us in the least. Oh, you think we're going around saying, oh, some lady on the internet said it didn't happen, so therefore it didn't happen. We're not that dumb. They think we're so dumb. It's crazy. It's unbelievable how dumb they think the population, the common population is. I remember when Netanyahu was being interviewed by the Nelk boys. Those two idiots. Those two guys are idiots, okay, by the way. But he's trying to tell them, he's like, you know, my wife, she's a psychologist. Netanyahu's telling the Nelk boys. He's talking to them like they're retarded kindergartners. He's like, my wife, she's a psychologist. You know what a psychologist is, right? And the Nelk boys are like this. Yeah. A psychologist. You understand psychologist, right? Yeah, I understand. Like, it was so ridiculous. It's embarrassing, man, how dumb they think we are. Rabbi Misrashi is the Jewish version of Sheikh Asim Al Hakim, the Malaysian guy. LOL. I'm not familiar with that guy. That's from Nomad. I'm not familiar with that guy. Is it the guy who's like a long beard? He's always wearing the headdress. And he's like really like, yeah. No, those guys got to get out more. You know, they got to learn more about the world. They got to learn more about the world. They're too out of touch. They're too out of touch. They're like the dinosaur version of dinosaur understanding. It's like really primitive. Their thinking is very primitive. And I think they need to expand their ability to think at a higher level. That's what I think it is. Do you think the Gracies are correct when they say BJJ is becoming less effective due to the sportification of the art? It seems like a lot of BJJ gyms don't teach distance management, takedowns, etc. That's from Alpinex. I think it's part of it, but it's also why jiu-jitsu is so good, because when you're competing, you're seeing what techniques work, and those techniques may or may not work in MMA. We have to try to convert them to MMA, but the BJJ sport is proving what works, and then after that, we got to go to the next step. We got to say, okay, look, this worked in BJJ. These are the tried and true techniques. Can we use them in MMA? And we're going to find some yes and some no. But the BJJ sport is really important, because if you're getting punched in the head every time you try an armbar, you're never going to figure out how to get into a tight armbar. I think it's really, really good because there's so much innovation happening in the BJJ world. The guys like me were watching it very closely, and then we tried an MMA and see if we can convert it. I think it's a stepping stone. But if you are really, really good at BJJ, you're world champion BJJ, and then you go into MMA, you might get a reality check. Okay, you might get a reality check. So I think you got to do BJJ and some MMA your entire career, and then convert to MMA. But there's got to be some level of MMA. You got to stay in touch with reality. I know you find Makachev really funny. I saw a video of him saying the creepiest moment of his life was going into class at 14 years old, and his friend Abu Bakr was there with a fully grown beard. I think Makachev is the funniest MMA fighter ever, and he doesn't even try to be. It's just hilarious. He's kind of like borderline dad jokes, wittiness, and lost in translation funniness. Like, he's just hilarious. I love it. I love it. Honestly, he's hilarious. All right, we got super chat. Gotta bang these out. before they disappear. Watch Rabbi Misrahi debating Sneeko. I saw a little bit of that. He ran away. He's like, oh, I gotta go. I gotta go. Once they brought Orthodox Muslim on, he's like, I gotta go. I gotta go, guys. Time's up. Because Orthodox would have cooked him. Orthodox Muslim would have cooked him. Oh man, it's just he's like, oh, I gotta go. I gotta leave. I saw that part. It's pretty funny. Salam, coach. I'm curious on your philosophy on developing grip strength for calisthenics training. That's from Papercut. Papercut, the number one way to develop grip strength is actually Olympic lifting. They have the highest grip strength. So do some hybrid Olympic lifts and you will quickly increase your grip strength. Oh, this is from Shiz, the top G. Sub coach, 2 questions. Did Israel Adesanya have more title defenses than the legend Anderson Silva? Also, who had better moments during their prime, Izzy or Spider? Actually, I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and count, but I would say it was Anderson Silva. Guys, there was a time where Anderson Silva, you just couldn't touch him. They literally couldn't land the glove on the guy. He was at one point the best pound for pound fighter ever. At one point, okay? And then he had a slide, and then I think it's hard to say that anybody ever reached that because the sport changed. But if you say relative to his era, he's incredible. He's up there, man. So I would say even beyond Izzy, yeah, beyond Izzy. I think for his era, he was better than Izzy, even though Izzy is one of the greats, one of the legends. Coach, we're training 1 hour BJJ 6 to 7 a.m., 1 hour gym session 12 to 1 p.m., 2 hour BJJ Muay Thai session 6:30 to 8:30. Be too much on the body? I'm 23 years old. Yeah, flan pat. I think that's too much. Do 2 sessions a day, 3 sessions a day. You're going to burn out your testosterone. You're not going to have enough recovery time. Okay, so avoid burning yourself out. And don't do 2 sessions a day forever. Do 2 sessions a day for 3 weeks. Then tone it back. The 4th week, tone it back. All right, guys. What are the super big matchups coming up? What are the big matchups coming up? Anderson Silva approached mythical being status after the Forrest Griffin fight. Who wins in their prime and how? GSP Anderson Silva. That's from Alex. Alex, I will tell you, I think George would have took him to the ground, and George wouldn't have let him up. George would have crushed him on the ground, or he would have really punished him, I should say. I know it's hindsight. I know I could say that now, but I just think George had such good wrestling timing. Because the thing is, when I look at Sonnen taking him down, it's just Sonnen doesn't have the jiu-jitsu. He doesn't have the pressure, the top pinning ability. He just doesn't have it, man. He's not that level of jiu-jitsu. He's good at wrestling, but not the same level of wrestling as George, and not the same pressure on top as George. So I just think George could have had a window there. Hey, coach, I'm in Phuket grading and ranking each Muay Thai gym. Any recommendations for what criteria must be graded? Thank you, legend. That's from Aiden. Aiden, I will tell you, look, number one, excuse me. Number one, I will tell you how much. Number one, if it's for beginners, okay, how much attention do they give you? Because the thing is, if you go into a real camp and you're a beginner, they won't spend too much time on you. But if you're looking for the most touristic gym or the place where they're friendly to beginners, I would say number one is the hospitality, how they treat you, they make you feel welcome. And because sometimes if you go into a remote camp where it's fighters, they don't want the foreigners there. I'm telling you, it's not very welcoming. Unless you're in there with somebody that can vouch for you. Another Thai, you're training with a Thai already. Like when I went, I was already training with Thais in Thailand. Excuse me, in Canada. So I was in Canada training with Thais. So when I went to Thailand and I was training in remote gyms, even what one gym refused to train me. They're like, we don't train foreigners. Like you have to go to a touristic place. Okay, so if you're talking about touristic place, well, first of all, they're welcoming and they're good, and then you gotta kind of see, how good is the training, how good are the training partners, how good are the coaches. But like the hospitality is really important too, because sometimes if you go in a remote gym, they don't want you there. Like you got to understand, they don't want you there. Some Thai gyms don't want you there. I'm telling you. But then again, that's the complete opposite when you go to a touristic gym where they see tourists all the time and it's money making and they're really interested in making money. So they're going to be really happy to have you there and they're going to be friends with you and they're open minded and they're cool and it's a business for them as well. This is from Shiz. Coach, Coach, could you refresh everyone's memory when Anderson leaned back, walked backwards while avoiding punches and landed a beautiful single punch stun among stunned opponents? Damn, that was poetic. Is it? Isn't it, followers? That's from Shiz. Shiz, yes, you're right. Especially in the Griffin fight, like we spoke about recently. He was dodging shots like he was in the Matrix, and then pow, pow, he would catch guys. But look, then he did it against Chris Weidman. Shiz, do you remember what happened when he did it, Chris Weidman? With Chris Weidman, he was like, oh, Chris can't touch me. Chris was like, Chris missed a couple of punches, and then you saw this look on Anderson Silva's face. Anderson Silva was like, this guy's too slow. This guy can't touch me. And he started bobbing and weaving. And then Chris catches him with a hook. Boom! Knocks him out. And then there was this meme. Oh my God, the memes. This isn't Dancing with the Stars. It's UFC. Like, guys, he did it. And when it worked, he looked like a genius. When it failed, everybody stepped all over him. Guys, he's a legitimate fighter. That's a legitimate technique. It works. We seen it work. And then when we see it not work, everybody was roasting him. But that's just competition, I guess. That's just life, man. When it blows up, everybody steps on you. When it works, this guy's a visionary. He's the greatest of all time. He's the living Bruce Lee. He's a legend. Yeah, man, you climb so high, but you fall so hard when it backfires. Coach, Islam versus Ian. Do you think Ian is going to stick and move for points? Will Islam have to chase after Ian? How would you close that gap on Ian? That's from Dr. Zay. Dr. Zay, I'll tell you for sure Ian wants to keep the distance. But Islam's going to want to press him up against the fence. Islam is very good on the fence. But I think he's going to have trouble with Ian, man. Ian is tall, he's strong, he's physical, he's very well trained in jiu-jitsu. And I think it's going to be a tough one, very tough one. But I think there's one thing we overlook about Islam. We always forget this about Islam. We always forget it. Islam is a hard hitter. Islam's got power, man. It wouldn't surprise me if either fighter knocked down the other. Okay, I could see Islam knocking Ian out or knocking him down, and I could see Ian knocking out Islam or knocking him down. I see both guys as very powerful. I think we're really underplaying it. I think a lot of people are going to think it's going to be a stick and move, pick and poke from Ian and takedowns from Islam Makhachev. I don't think so. I think they're both going to throw heaters, real heaters. When Islam fought JDM, he threw a head kick that kind of went through the arm of JDM and hit JDM in the head. And you could tell JDM was like, whoa, that could have really put me out. I got to be alert here. Like he was like, wow, these are heaters. These are tough shots. Now, of course, Islam immediately took him down and just controlled him on the ground. But the shots that he threw were really, really strong and powerful. Islam landed some good punches, but we forget because there was so much more wrestling going on. And let's not forget, he knocked out Volkanovski. Like, he's a very powerful striker. How many guys could say that they stopped Volkanovski? It's only Islam Makhachev and Ilya Taporia. Ilya Taporia, obviously one of the greatest hitters of all time. But we have Islam Makhachev. Makhachev, a powerhouse when it comes to striking. Salam, coach. Soon we'll be hearing Izzy, Brandon Schaub, Dean Thomas, Matt Serra, Guru downplaying Islam skills. It became obvious pure hate or CTE. That's from Slim. Slim, I don't think they're going to do that. I really don't think so. Brandon Schaub, he's going to downplay Islam Makachev's skills. I really doubt it. Izzy, I don't know. It surprised me. I don't know. Sarah, I don't think so. Guru probably, right? Because he hates Muslims. He really doesn't like Arabs. Like he's just like he's got I don't know. He's got an issue. He just hates wrestlers and Muslims and all that. So I don't know what his beef is, but yeah, he might downplay Islam's skills. But look, at the end of the day, guys, I think everybody knows Islam's one of the greats. Whether he wins or loses, he's one of the greats. He's one of the elite guys who got 2 division championship. He's made his name. He's made his name. He's made his mark. Forrest Griffin was kind of a bum, though. That's from 33 Larry. No, man, come on. The guy was world champion. He beat Shogun. See, just you guys forget. You guys forget. The guy was a stud. Sam, coach, I'm a very skinny, boned ass man. That makes me less durable in fights, whether it's in boxing or other. Any tips? May God bless you. That's from Black PJJ. Black, I would tell you, upgrade your protein, man. If you really want to increase in size and muscle. Look, I'm 46. I packed on some muscle. 100% steroid free. I just put on, like, I'll tell you, like 10 pounds of muscle. Just dial in that protein, man. I really, really highly recommend a beef protein powder, but beef. It's made difference for me, huge difference. I'm getting way more protein in and no gas. I hate protein powders that give me gas. I did whey for so long and I didn't know that beef protein was that digestible. I didn't know. I didn't even know they made protein powder out of beef. I didn't even know. And because I remember I went into the pro shop and I was talking to the guy and I was like, give me the best, I want the best. And he gave me this whey protein. It was whey. It was giving me gas. He told me that was the best. So it gave me a little less gas, but it wasn't. Then I got this beef protein and I was like, 10,000 times better. Like I don't have any gas whatsoever. So for me, like gas is a deal breaker, man. I just can't stand the feeling. But find a good beef protein. Thank you, coach. Please let me know the brand or where you buy it from. I buy it from Popeyes. Actually, give me a second. I'll bring the protein out right now. Hold on. All right, this is the protein I use. It's called IsoFlex. ISO IsoFlex. It's a kosher beef protein. So I'm looking for a halal beef protein, but I haven't found one yet. So I'm using kosher, but it's really, really good stuff. 27 grams of protein, 120 calories per scoop. You can't go wrong. I do at least 2 scoops a day, and I find it's like really good for recovery, building muscle, feeling good, no gastro distress. I love it. Uh, okay, here we go. Coach, I got a new job and traveling a lot. What are the ways to train martial arts being alone on the road? That's from Larry Bird. Larry, come on, man. You know shadow boxing. You know, get professional shadow boxing. Professional shadow boxing, solo drills. I haven't done a solo drill video, but there's plenty of stuff online you can find. And I think John Danaher released a free solo drill video. So check that out. But I would tell you shadow boxing and, of course, fitness. You got to do extra fitness. Charles Oliveira versus Khabib. Who would win? That's from Luke O'Leary. Luke, obviously, no doubt, Khabib. No doubt about it. I would be shocked if Oliveira could win. I would be shocked. Guys, don't spam. Oliveira versus Armin 2 announced? No way. No way they announced that. No way. Salam, coach. Drilling the Z step daily religiously. Any hidden gems on it? I feel like I exposed my center line a bit. When did you feel like you mastered? That's for movement application. Look, you got to keep doing it, and it's going to become more subtle. If you're doing it and people can tell you're doing it, you're not doing it right. You got to keep drilling it till it becomes subtle, that you're doing it over and over again and people just don't realize it. It's one of the most important things. And of course, don't forget, as you might be doing it, exposing your center line when you do the reverse Z step, but you got to do it at a distance. Watch the video again. I explain that carefully. Your center line should never be exposed when you do it. How do you reconcile Islamic teachings with the evidence from hominid fossils and human evolution? That's from Ali. Ali, look, in the Quran, it says Adam's being created. God tells the angels, I'm going to create Adam. And the angels say, you're going to create somebody who's going to shed blood. So a lot of scholars, before we ever discovered evolution, said there was already a people created similar to Adam, because the angels were wondering why God was going to create another blood-shedding creature. So the scholars speculate there was another race of people. There was another type of humanoid. Okay. And also, if it's Adam and Eve, who are they mating with? Who are their children mating with? They can't be brother and sister. They can't mate together. So there was another population. And believe me, we could stretch the Quran even further than that. I talked to certain scholars, and they would say, because it is very interesting, you know, we have evolution on one hand and we have the Quran on the other. And the Muslims, believe me when I tell you, they were on the forefront of natural selection. The first book ever written on natural selection was Kitab al-Haywanat by Al-Jahiz, a Muslim writer. Okay, he was saying, look, these animals are the way they are because of the environment they evolved in. He didn't use the word evolve, but that's the language we use today. Because of their environment, a certain number of these animals had an advantage, and that's why they pushed their genes. They didn't use the word genes. Okay, he says they pushed their traits. Okay, so when Darwin came out with his book, he was criticized. One of the things he was criticized for was, "Oh, you're copying the Mohammedans." Like the Mohammedans, the Muslims, they say that the animal is shaped by their environment. Because Al-Jahiz wrote before Darwin, hundreds of years before, and he specifically writes a book about how animals are being shaped by their environment. It's quite fascinating. Now, it wasn't evolution, okay? They didn't understand genetics, and neither did Darwin, okay? They weren't talking about modern day evolution, but they still had a notion. So a lot of the scholars were already thinking, how could a man and a woman breed a whole world? There had to be another. And also, of course, don't forget, even in evolution, there are many mysteries. There are many, many mysteries. Because in evolution, they're trying to say that, look, because, what's the evolutionary claim? The evolutionary claim is this. You had a self-replicating cell. That self-replicating cell was just multiplying itself. It wasn't mating with other cells. And then one day, they had countless replicating cells. They merged together. By merging together, it was type of mating. By merging together, they had some kind of advantage over the self-replicating ones. because you can't start with two mating cells, because two mating cells, you need them to be created both at the same time. You'd have to start with one cell, and that cell self-replicate. Once it self-replicates, that can give birth to a type of mating. Okay, not mating how we do now, but some kind of merger between two cells, and they had an advantage. Therefore, they outbreeded all the replicators, the single cell replicators. So we understand this idea very well, but it doesn't affect the Quran. Now, here's the other thing. One simple answer is Adam was a miracle. You had other humanoids, and Adam is, it's called Adam exceptionalism. He was a miracle, because in Islam, we believe in miracles. We believe that God can intervene in history. So maybe Adam was just a miracle that was spliced into humanity. That's it. It could be that simple. Now, personally, I have a different, more complex view. I have a much more complex view that doesn't violate the Quranic understanding and doesn't violate what we know about evolution. It doesn't, but it's a little bit too complex. Personally, I believe, if you ask me my opinion, I believe we're not from this world. We didn't come, because here's the thing, like in the Quran, it talks about Jannah, the garden. I don't think the garden, Jannah, was on earth. Some people think Adam and Eve were put on earth. I don't believe that. I believe Adam and Eve were in another dimension. And then they came down to earth, because the Quran says he sent them down. God sent down Adam and Eve. Where did he send them down from? I think from rank, from a type of rank that they had, and from another dimension. I believe we're aliens to this world. We're the aliens. People are looking for aliens. We're the aliens. We don't belong in this world. We don't belong in this world. That's my view. I believe Adam and Eve. I believe in dimensions. I believe in every single possible thing you can imagine. There's something 10 times even more fascinating, 10 times more impossible. What to your mind seems impossible, I think is just the tip of the iceberg. So I have this type of view where I think the world we live in is far greater than we could ever imagine. I think like, I like to think about like a microbe on my skin, how he would try to understand this computer. It's so far beyond him. I think the world is like that. I'm like a little microbe, and the world is so far beyond me. Every scientist, every logician, every genius we've ever had, he's only a microbe on a human skin. He's just a nothing. Yeah, it's admirable. It's amazing to see a genius at work, and I love to philosophize and all that. But the more you learn, the more you understand how little you know, and the more you understand how the world is great, how the world is fascinating, how the world has so many more mysteries. You never understand the world. You never. The more you learn, the more mysteries there are, the more fascinated a human being becomes. Now, that's why I think that humanity was started in another dimension. Science backs the existence of other dimensions. That's from Snail. Yes, it used to be considered ridiculous that there are other dimensions, and now it's scientifically accepted. It's scientific. It's a scientific staple. They used to ridicule it. The early scientists used to ridicule dimensions. That's crazy. That's fancy talk. That's woo. That now it's a staple. Everybody says, "Oh, of course, the math. If you do the math, there's a complex reasons why they believe in multiple dimensions. But if you do the math, there has to be more than 4 dimensions. There has to be. It has a lot to do with the weakness of gravity. Gravity's so weak. Why is gravity so weak? Well, we must be feeling it through, it must be going through a variety of dimensions, because when it arrives to us, it's weak. Okay, so they do the math, and like, gravity should be way stronger. Well, guess what? They stipulate dimensions, and they stipulate dimensions for other reasons as well. But they all stipulate dimensions. 99% of scientists believe there are multiple dimensions. And guys, don't forget, a dimension is not something you can imagine, because you live in a 4-dimension. Me and you, we live in a 4-dimension. If there was a 5th dimension, you wouldn't know it, because you haven't experienced it. You can't understand it. But how did we know? How did mystics of old know there were more than 1 dimension? How? They extrapolated it. They said, look, when you were a baby, you had this level of understanding. Then you became a teenager, you had this level, and you kept going up, and you realize, wait a second, if I keep going up, what else is there? Well, guess what? You start to realize every time I thought I knew something, I grew and evolved, and I look back and I'm like, oh, I was ignorant. So you extrapolate and you imagine, hey, the growth is infinite. I'm 24. I did taekwondo as a child. Can I master MMA and BJJ with my goal to return to my home community where there is no access to MMA? Any advice? That's from Badrio. Badrio, I will tell you, look, I did that. There wasn't much jiu-jitsu in Montreal when I was learning jiu-jitsu, so I went abroad. I went to New York. I trained in New York, and now I'm a black belt under John Danaher, and I'm teaching jiu-jitsu for a living. So I would tell you, do it, man. You're 24. Go for it. If martial arts is your passion and you want to bring it back home, you want to bring a higher level of MMA and martial arts to your town, I would do it. Go for it. What else we got here, guys? Uh, okay, here we go. Coach, what keeps you staying righteous? What makes you never to slip into hedonism? Please elaborate. Have issues slacking. That's from Hamza. Hamza, man, you live an interesting life, I think. Look, I don't feel like I'm missing out. What's hedonism? Hedonism means you're a slave to your desires. If you're sleepy, you gotta sleep. If you're hungry, you gotta eat. You gotta stuff your face with chocolates and sweets, and you just can't say no. I think that's less pleasure. I think you've misunderstood how pleasure works. The more you saturate your body with quick, easy fixes for pleasure, the more suffering you're going to have. It's a lack of wisdom. Hedonism is a lack of wisdom. You're harming yourself. You see it as, I'm yielding to pleasure. I think you're yielding to suffering. You're yielding to pleasure now and suffering later. Once you get burned a few times, you start to wisen up. So look, as when I was younger, of course, I was very interested in the world and I wanted to try the whole world. I wanted to experiment the whole world. But I start to realize, wait a second, there's harm in these things. And you start to kind of observe and see and wisen up. And as you get wiser, you make smarter choices. And then you have a higher level of pleasure. You have a higher level of understanding. You have a higher level of joy. So in my opinion, you're just miscalculating. John Locke used to talk about this. He used to say, look, the human being is a pleasure calculator. And he gives an example about a toothache. Like human beings, we all calculate pleasure. Like if I go to the dentist and my dentist is going to take the tooth out, that's going to hurt. I don't want to be hurt. So I'm not going to go to the dentist. How many of us have delayed a visit to the dentist because we know the dentist is really uncomfortable and it hurts and we don't like it? So we delay. But John Locke says, look, you're a really bad calculator of pleasure. By delaying it, that tooth now is going to become worse and worse, can become more and more painful. And then when you go see him, it's going to be 3, 4, 5 times the pain. And if you don't take it out, the pain is going to get to 100 times worse, 1,000 times worse. It can have an abscess and you could die. Like he's telling you, you're really calculating wrong. You're really bad at calculating. So a hedonist is somebody who's really bad at calculating pressure. The honest truth is that you go to the dentist, you suffer a little bit of pain now, and then you have comfort later. Whereas somebody who's a hedonist is going to be like, no, I have pain now, but that's worse pain. Going to the dentist is worse pain. Therefore, the calculation says, don't go to the dentist. He's very short-sighted. You got to kind of like question your behaviors. You got to tell yourself, like, if I'm eating so much food and I'm getting fat, my body's becoming a prison. I can't even walk up the stairs. My knees hurt. Why? I'm 50 pounds overweight. I'm making my life a hell. I'm making my life a prison. And really, it takes courage to calculate joy correctly. Because it takes courage to go to the doctor and say, you know what, fix this tooth. I'm gonna bear the pain so I don't have pain later. It takes courage, it takes grit, it takes toughness, it takes strength, internal strength. And you can build that, you can cultivate it. And I highly suggest that you become better at calculating joy, because what's going to happen is your body, your mind, your thoughts, it's all going to become a prison. Over time, you're going to think of something and I got to go eat it. I just thought of the chocolate bar that I like and I got to go get one. I got to get up out of my chair. I got to go out in the car, warm up the car, go drive to the store, because I can't say no to my desires. I just can't say no. They're out of control. I'm a hedonist, guys. I see a girl, I gotta sleep with her. Oh, I gotta wine and dine her. I gotta do all the bad things. Oh, your wife left you. You're broke. You're living in an apartment. Your family doesn't talk to you. Your kids think you're a jerk. Like, you just destroyed your life. Why? You couldn't say no. So what I'm trying to say is, look, get better at seeing the long-term goals. Hedonism it's a slow and painful existence. Why does conceiving of God imply God exists rather than being idolized blend of real concepts? I would love to hear your response. That's from Ali. Ali, I've talked about this quite a few times. Okay. So you cannot, with imperfect ideas, create the idea of perfection. It's not possible. Can I build an organic home with plastic Legos? You can't. You need the materials, organic materials, to make something organic. Now, God cannot be built by materials. So if you have an idea of a God and he's a conjunction of things, he's a composition of things, he wouldn't be a God. Think about it. If God is built by parts and they're imperfect and they're not divine, then how could the result be a divine idea, a divine perfection, a God? You cannot construct the divine. It's not possible. Because if you did, that means the divine would depend on its parts. And if it depends on its parts, it's not divine. God cannot depend on his parts. So God cannot be constructed. Okay. And there is nothing in the world we see that is divine, that we can take and construct a God with it. The idea of God is internal. It's innate. That's what defines a rationalist. If you're a rationalist, you believe in innate ideas. And many great philosophers were rationalists. And they believe, look, we're born with the idea of God because I didn't see God in the world, but I know the notion of God. So how can I know it? I was born with it. It's innate. And I believe it to be a very compelling and strong argument. Not only that, you can experience it firsthand. I'm having an innate experience that I have the innate idea of God. That's why I don't believe there's atheists, because I never talked to somebody about God and they're like, what is that? I'd never heard of it. I can't understand it. But if you talk to a blind man about the color red, he's going to be like, look, I've heard people talk about it. I have no idea what you're talking about. I was born blind. I have no experience with the color red. So he could be super intelligent, but if he was born blind, he could never understand the idea of the color red. Yet when I talk to you about God, you understand about the idea of God. There is no idea in your head that you haven't experienced. It's impossible. So please find me one example of an idea you experienced. Find me one example of an idea you have in your head that you didn't experience. And you're going to find it's a collage of other ideas. But this cannot be so in the case of God. For us, have you seen Strickland's take on Israel and Gaza? That's from CSS. Yes, I think he said, if I remember correctly, because I saw a video, and I was super happy to hear him say that. And I'll shake his hand the next time I see him, Mr. Strickland. He's like, look, you can't bomb kids. You can't just kill kids. You can't just he's like really criticizing the state of Israel. And guys, we should all do it. Not because we have anything against a particular people. Not at all. Any children being harmed anywhere in the world, guys, that's a low bar. I don't care if they're Chinese. I don't care if they're Christian. I don't care if they're Jewish kids. I don't care if they're Muslim kids. I don't care if they're secular kids. Kids being bombed is always wrong. We have to stand up and absolutely 100% reject any excuse for killing children at all times, all the time. No excuse. No excuse is acceptable. Is that so hard to ask? I can't believe these politicians, they get out there and they try to make excuses for bombing and killing children. It's despicable. It's disgusting. It's sickening. And I'm happy to see Strickland, shocking, is the voice of reason on this one. I applaud him. I respect him. And I can't say enough good things about him. That's a great thing for him to do. It takes a lot of guts, and he's saying it. I hope to be one of those people as well. I want to tell the world, stop harming children. There's no good excuse. If there's a building full of children, you don't detonate it. You don't destroy it. It's a lie that you need to do that. You can evacuate the building very slowly. You can usher them into a safe zone. You can police that safe zone. You can identify them. You can feed them, clothe them. You can shelter them. And then you can go on your little wars. Okay, once you make sure that the population has been extracted and they're safe. But what Israel does, and this is a fact, is they corral them in a safe zone, and then they bomb that safe zone. And then they blow up that safe zone. And then they burn that safe zone. They kill women and children on purpose. Anybody who says otherwise is a liar. We have unlimited amount of proofs, and even Israeli soldiers bragging about it, and even Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying, referring to the Palestinians as Amalek. And if people say, oh no, he was referring to Hamas as Amalek. Amalek means not only do you kill Amalek, you kill the wife, women, children, and the livestock. So even if he's referencing it to Hamas, which he wasn't, he was referencing to Palestinians. But even if he was, let's say I grant it to you, that still means kill the women and children. Amalek is a call to eradication and you-know-what side. It's inexcusable. Even the president of Israel said, there are no innocent civilians. He said it. He said there's nobody innocent. There's nobody innocent in this. What are you talking about, man? These children weren't even born when your conflict started. They weren't even born yet. They weren't even here. Could you imagine a German of a certain type saying that? Would anybody agree with him? Who says, oh no, these kids they're subhuman. Let's kill them all. Well, nobody would agree with him. If he said, oh look, we can bomb them, there's nobody, none of them are innocent, we wouldn't agree with him. We didn't agree with him then, we won't agree with you now. You have become the new Nazis. It's sickening. It's a disgrace to your ancestry. It's a disgrace to your history, calling for the you-know-what side of another people. And they are calling for it. Smotrich, Ben Gvir, Netanyahu, the president of Israel, all despicable extremists. Let me tell you something. You want a regime change? That's the number one regime change we should have in the world. That's the number one. If we change that regime, we can actually have a crack at world peace. That's the number one regime change, not the Iranians. Iranians are not great either, but they're not the number one evil. There are other regimes that need to be changed. And let me tell you something. The one with the star, the blue star and the white flag and the blue stripes, that one's the number one to go. Coach, what would it take to get you and hijab on JRE and set everything on fire? And please make dua for Farouk Ramadan, that our Lord grants him highest Jannah, inshallah. I mean, Hamza, look, maybe one day. It's highly unlikely that he'd want to figure like hijab on his channel. I think it would probably break the internet. But me, I think I could get on his channel. Possibly, it's very possible. I've been on it twice, so maybe. But I think I'm more of a soft landing. You know, I'm more of a middle ground. You know, I think I can, because the next time I go on the Joe Rogan podcast, I'm gonna ask him some things, because I've heard some crazy things that his guests have said, like that Rupert Lowe. He's like, in Islam you can rape white women. Like, what? What? Can you tell me where it says that? There's no such thing. Okay, in Islam you cannot rape. Doesn't, regardless of the race. Okay. Let me tell you guys something, okay? You can't rape women in Islam. You cannot. Anybody who tells you otherwise is a liar. Okay, you cannot. And you cannot, because of her race. Oh, she's white. It's okay. You can defile her. Why? Because she's not Muslim. That's not true. It doesn't exist in Islam at all. That's a lie. It's a myth. It's disgusting. Like, I wish Joe Rogan was like, hey man, okay, can you mind telling me what reference that is? What are you referencing? What's your source? Is that in the Quran? Is that in the Hadith? Like, where did you get that from? Are they preaching that at the pulpit? Like, where is it? Where is it from? I would have loved to see the look on his face when they can't find it. When they can't find it. Like, it's just ridiculous, man. It's just ignorance. Ignorance. Total ignorance. I agree with this. There are many dimensions in other universes out there. We haven't even scratched the surface. That's from Keenan. Keenan, for real, man. The more you learn about reality, the more unbelievably amazing it is. Rogan Stein is bought out. That's from Golden Gully. I don't think so, man. I really don't think so. I don't think so. I think he has just like he has a particular group right with he's more right wing. He's having these right wing personalities come on, and they're very like they want to purify the West. But I think he like we need to challenge those ideas. We got to look. Is it true? I think Joe's an open minded guy. Look, if it's true, show me. Show me, man. I'll get on board with you. If it's true, a religion you're allowed to rape white women, I can tell you that's really wrong. It sounds very evil to me. That sounds really wrong, man. So I would reason with him, and I think he's a reasonable guy. You should do a collab with Orion Taraban, coach. Who's that? Who's Orion Taraban? Let's see. Orion Taraban. All right. I think I've seen this guy before. Let's see. Let me see if I can pop him up. Oh, there it is. Look at these button pushing skills, my friends. Impressed? Impressed how the button pushed? How the button was pushed? All right, let's hear this guy. It's true. It's incredible how human beings can forget traumatic experiences. He's right there. It's well documented. If you forget history, you're doomed to repeat it. I'm into this. He makes a lot of sense. All right, guys. I will do a podcast with him, but look, I'm not gonna like promise anything. But yeah, I would do. He seems like a really intelligent person, so I would talk to him definitely. He's a psychologist, guys. I almost majored in psychology. I almost majored instead of philosophy, but then I was like, no, I like philosophy too much. Could you imagine being a psychologist? Ah, man, I would have like missed the MMA explosion. What do you think of Christopher Nolan's portrayal of the Odyssey in the Odysseus in the Odyssey? Does it follow Western trend of portraying Odysseus as guilty over the Trojan War, like Oppenheimer? Is that is that a cop out? That's from Maz. Maz, I haven't watched the movie and I'm not too familiar with the Odyssey. I know, of course, Homer talked about it. They reference it in Greek philosophy, but I never got deep into the story. Okay, so a lot of philosophers we skip that because yeah, you hear about Homer, but Homer wasn't a philosopher. So I'll be honest with you, I'm familiar with the Odyssey, but it's a complex story. I'm familiar with it superficially. It's a very complex story, so I don't know the ins and outs. And I haven't watched the movie yet, but I do look forward to watching the movie. Demoted, coach. What are you talking about, man? I got it right. Didn't it work? Did you guys hear the video? Did it work? Come on, man. I got it right, didn't I? I pushed the buttons, didn't I? Sam Coach, just want to say love the streams, never miss an episode, and truly enjoy the content. That's from L Jeff. L Jeff, thank you, man. That's sweet of you. You are a gentleman and a scholar, sir. Merci beaucoup. Oh, you couldn't hear the audio? Damn it. So I didn't do it right. How's that possible? Ah, oh, that sucks. How's that possible? Ah, you're not. I was not impressed with your button pushing performance. Oh no, I feel shame. Let me try it again. Let me try it again. Okay, let me try it again. Give me a thumbs up when you hear the sound. Okay, did it work? Ah, man, I don't know. I gotta figure that out later. Still no sound, is it? Oh man, that really sucks. That really, really sucks. I thought I had this whole new ability to bring up videos online. Oh man, I gotta take a button pushing course. Oh la la, the button pushing journey lives on. What do you think of the current state of the Dawa Bros? That's from Muhammad. I think they're doing good. They're doing good. They're really strong. They're growing in number, and I think in time it's going to multiply. But I think there's just too much hostility. Too much hostility. They got to tone it down a bit. Every both sides, the Christians, the Muslims, the Jewish apologists, they got to tone it down because you got to keep like a. I just feel you got to keep a respect, amongst religious speaks. It should be done in a good way because it's almost getting too the Maury show, and it's like about insulting each other. It's not about like digging at the truth. And for me, when it comes to the insults, I just kind of turn it off. I feel like it's just not. It's just, it's not for me. I don't like it. Coach, you had audio all the way though, all the way through. I don't know what you mean by that. You're telling me people are telling me they didn't hear the audio. Fraz, do you think McGregor faked his injury because he recently uploaded working out his legs? I don't really care, honestly. I don't think he did, but I really just don't care. Would you train with Bang or go to an average MMA gym if you care about fighting? I would train with Bang. Bang is great, man. He's one of the legends. Go check out Bang Ludwig. Coach, is your gym open to the public or specific experts? That's from Bat. No, we're open to everybody. We have basics class literally every single day. There's all levels. We train all levels. Coach, what do you think of what are your thoughts on Bitcoin's future and quantum computing? I think they're going to use quantum computing to try to hack Bitcoin, and they're going to use quantum computing to protect Bitcoin. So hopefully it's going to even out. Coach, Umar versus Yadong is happening in Shanghai. Do you think Umar gets a sub? That's from Dr. Zay. Wow, that's a big fight, man. I think Umar gets it done. I don't think it's a sub. But that's 5 rounds. You know what? Wait a second. Let me say that again. Umar could get a sub, yes, because it's 5 rounds, and I think he could fatigue Yadong. I think he could fatigue Yadong over 5 rounds. I feel like Song kind of slows down after 3 rounds. So yeah, I would say it's a very good possibility. 5 rounder, I really really like Umar, and to get a finish. For us, have you heard a story from Larat about the Afghan giants from JRE? He said there are still real giants in existence. That's from CSS. No, I haven't heard it. But that would be cool, man. I know Larat. I gotta hit him up and ask him about the Giants. Coach, where do you study philosophy? That's from JC at Concordia University. But I kept my studies going on for my entire life. I study philosophy every single day. So I got my degree a long, long time ago, but that was really just the beginning of my education. Coach, can you react to my fight? It's Abdi Shakir Ali versus Javi Munez. Okay, let's do it, man. Why not? Let's put up this button pushing skill that I have. I'm gonna get that going. Abdi, you can have a more complicated name, man. Abdi Shakur, Abdi Shakur Ali versus Javi. He fought at Muniz, Javi Muniz, Javi Muniz. Ignite. Okay, let's see. All right, man, we got it. We got it. All right, let's see you fight. Okay, I'm gonna skip through. Here comes our boy. There's our boy. He's got the comb. Is that a comb in your hair? Is that a comb in your hair, son? Is that a comb in your hair? All right, we don't need audio for this, guys. It's a fight, man. I'm liking the choke. Oh, switch attempt. Roll. Oh, hip heist. All right, Ali. You got moves, man. You got moves, Ali. Mashallah. He's gonna lift you. No, you gotta switch. Long and lanky. They love the switch. The long and lanky guys. Nice switch. Round and pound. It's gonna be over soon. No. Muniz is up. Oh. Ooh, nice right hand. Ali, you're a killer, man. Knees, body lock. Here comes the takedown. Crucifix position, and this is going to be a wrap soon. Guys, 90 seconds. That's how a fight is done. 90 seconds, friends. Woo, it's over. Nice work. You could have gave a shout out to Juji Club. I hope you're giving a shout out to Juji Club. I know you follow this channel. 18 years old, Ali. Mashallah. Beautiful. Good fight. Guys, beware in the chat. Don't talk smack to Ali. Don't talk smack to Ali. Very nice fight. Let's see if he gives a shout out to Juji Club. No, he did it. No shout out to Juji Club. All right. Great fight, guys. Excellent, excellent performance from our friend Ali. Very, very nice fight. Thoughts on Ian Gary being in touch with his feminine side? Look, the guy's one of the toughest men in the world. He can be in touch with his feminine side as he wants. What else we got here? My next opponent is Canadian, so until then, it's war, coach. I hope it's not a TriStar guy, because it's not going to be that easy. It's not going to be that easy, let me tell you. You're going to have to dig deep. Bro had a pick in his hair, but hasn't combed his hair in months. Hank, watch your mouth, man. He's in this chat room. He's in the chat. Be careful. Be careful. He's in the chat, man. He'll take you down, crucify you. Coach, I want to marry a woman, but my mother doesn't approve because she doesn't wear hijab. What do you think? That's from Mizi. Mizi, I will tell you, listen to your mother. That's my answer. Listen to your mother. If your mother doesn't like her, don't marry her. If your mother's not liking her, it's going to give you headaches down the line, man. I would tell you, just marry a hijabi, man. If that's what your mother wants, do it. You're right. My bad, Ali. That's from Hank. Guys, you see, Hank is a wise man. He doesn't want to cross paths with Ali. He doesn't want to see him, bump into him. Maybe they're at an airport somewhere. He's flying in, he's flying out. Boom, Ali's there. Big trouble. Big trouble for Hank. Coach, what are your thoughts on Neo streamer? He promotes gambling, but scared eat pork. Yeah, he doesn't eat pork, but he promotes gambling. I think he should get off the gambling. I've met him before. He's a nice kid. You know, he's did a stream at my gym once. Nice kid, but I mean, it's up to him. You know, he's got to realize that gambling is not a good thing. It's not worth the money. He doesn't need the money anyway. How often does John Denar visit TriStar? That's from 1996. Well, now he's in Texas, so he's very far away. We used to be New York and Texas. New York and Montreal, so we had to be on our flight away. But now it's much harder. So, not it's been a long time. Does K guard work in MMA? Quickly get to the back and out of the ground and pound. Yes, absolutely. It's my favorite guard for MMA. I talk about it quite often. It is absolutely useful in MMA. I love it. Any plans to open more gyms in Canada and other cities? Well, I'm opening a second TriStar gym in the Montreal area. That information is going to be released very soon. So in August, you guys are going to be hearing about our second location. It's 3737 Crémazie East. It's nearly 9,000 square feet. It's a huge gym, a second gym on the Montreal Island. So TriStar will have two massive gyms on the Montreal Island, one on the north side, one on the south side. And we're going to expand from there. We're going to keep going to other cities. We have one in Toronto. We're expanding, guys. TriStar Gym brand is definitely expanding one gym at a time, but we will have two giant TriStar gyms in Montreal. So be aware. This official opening is September. We're going to be open in August, soft opening, and then official opening of a 9,000 foot square TriStar gym. Guys, I'll tell you, from one side to the other, it's 200 feet. It's crazy. It's a crazy big gym. It's 200 feet. It's amazing. Coach, what separates BJJ athletes like Roger Gracie and Gordon Ryan from other elite world-class BJJ athletes? That's from Iceberg. Attention to detail, like really deciphering, decoding the little things that make the move work. Really being obsessed with getting moves correctly done and figuring out what powers the move. And of course, working with John Danaher definitely helps because John is obsessed with that completely. Guys, I'm not going to be doing any more fights because we did one. I think it's fun once in a while, but I can't start watching people's fights nonstop. What else we got here? What age did you start fighting, and have you ever competed? And what are some of your regrets? That's from I Ivana. Ivana, I competed as an amateur. I had like about 20 fights, and I loved fighting. I love competing. I didn't love fighting. I love competing. I love winning, but I love training. But I didn't like hurting other people. I wasn't into that. But I would compete because there was so much pressure in the gym for me to compete because I was like really good, and everybody, the coach was like, "Oh, we want you to do that. We want you to do a fight." They would book like Muay Thai master would book me fights without asking me. He's like, oh, "You're fighting on this day. You're gonna fight. You're gonna fight." I'm like, "Okay, I'll do it." You know, like for you, you really want me to do it, I'll do it. But I was more into the training. I did fight voluntarily, of course. I did sign up to fights. I signed up to grappling tournaments, and I did very, very well. But I just I didn't believe there was going to be any money in it. You gotta remember, guys, this is before UFC was massive. UFC was big, but it wasn't massive. We weren't making any money. Like the guys making money was like Not even the champions were making money at that time. Even the champions were not making a million when they were world champion at that time. There wasn't even a 145 weight division. The smallest division at the time was 155. So it was like not an option to live your career. So why would you want to be a fighter? Well, you do it for fun, you do it as a passion, you do it for the love of the sport. You're not doing it as a career. Now, as we were competing in it, we got pulled in more and more, and I became the coach because George and a couple other guys were asking, train me for my fight, train me for my fight, help me out in this fight. So I would take some time off my training to help him. And then we'd win one, and we weren't supposed to win it, and then win another, and then win another, and it just kind of steamrolled. And instead of becoming a lawyer like I was planning to, I became an MMA coach. But originally, I was planning to become a lawyer. Fighting was a passion for me. It's something I loved. Now, a lot of people tell me, "Oh, you should have fought. You should have fought. You should go with MMA." People used to ask me all the time, "When are you going to go pro? When are you going to go pro?" You're ready, because I would win in amateurs very convincingly, and I would win like everything. Like I would win all the time. I would either win by unanimous decision or knockout. Like I was really good. I was a really good amateur. But I was like, man, why would I fight for a living? Like, there's no money in it. I remember George's first fight. He made 3 to show and 3 to win. $6,000. We trained 4 months for him to make $6,000. Like, why would any human being put himself through that? It was a ridiculous business venture, but we did it for the passion and the love. But I was thinking, man, I think George is going to be broke after his career is over, and I'm going to be a lawyer. That's what I was thinking. But well, I'm not broke or anything, but I mean, George made millions. He made millions and millions and millions. He made so much money, but you have to understand, we didn't know that was going to happen. Nobody thought that was going to happen. I'm telling you, not even George. George didn't think, I'm going to become a world champion and make millions and millions of dollars. No way. He was hoping to win a title. He was hoping to make his mark, build his name. He didn't know he's going to become the most popular fighter ever. He didn't know that. The sport kept growing before our eyes, and we were shocked and amazed. We were shocked and amazed how big the fights were getting, how popular the names were getting. The fighters were becoming superstars everywhere they go. It was an incredible time because we really saw the most exponential growth of the sport. Coach, would you take a jiu-jitsu match tourney? Yeah, maybe. Maybe if the money was right, yeah, I would do it. But I have to take time off training people and train myself. So it'd have to be worth it, but I would definitely love to do jiu-jitsu. I love to get in the mix. Is it unhealthy to eat right before bed? My work/training schedule doesn't allow me to eat dinner early. I still try to eat healthy even if I eat late. So that's from 123. 123, I think you should do 2 meals a day. So do lunch and dinner. Lunch and dinner, or do breakfast and lunch. Try to avoid eating 3 meals a day. It's just really, you're not getting enough time to digest. So I would say 17 hours of just liquids, no food. So try to do lunch and dinner. So have a late dinner, but just don't eat breakfast. How do you deal with sibling rivalries as a father? That's from Ponderlust. Well, I'll tell you something. We wrestle each other so much. We scrap so much that when we get home, we don't want to fight with each other. Like it's enough. We had enough. So I think just getting it out, go wrestle, go box, go train. I think young men, they need to get that out of the system, and they're less frustrated when they get home. So I think martial arts is one of the best things that could ever happen to a young person. What does George think of the Attitude Era of MMA? That's from USA Libertarian. I think he kind of finds it funny, cool, because it's the thing he can't do or say, or it's all the things he can't say or do or behave that way. So for him, he gets a kick out of it, but he wouldn't endorse it, and he would never behave that way. He comes from a traditional background of martial arts, respect, but he does find it funny, I think. But when it gets dark, no, not when it gets dark. But he likes the characters, the funny guys, he just kind of finds it. It's a spectacle. He enjoys it, maybe as a joke. All right, guys, I gotta end it. Give me something funny or fun and lighthearted to end on. Give me something fun and light. Do you think MMA will surpass boxing in popularity? Of course, it already has. It has a long time ago. Who watches boxing anymore? People don't watch boxing anymore. Nobody's watching Mayweather's exhibitions. Nobody's watching any boxing. Nobody's watching the last Paul fights. Well, maybe the heavyweight one. People tuned in, but it's just boxing is pretty dead, man. Boxing is pretty dead. Who is the most handsome MMA fighter in your opinion, coach? That's from Ponder Lust. Your username is Ponder Lust, and you're asking me which is the most handsome MMA fighter. I think they're all equally unattractive. Is that okay? Is that an answer? I think they're all equally unattractive. How about that? I saw what's his name? The looks maxer. What's his name? Clavicular. Oh, everybody talks to me about clavicular. He hammers his face with a hammer. So it could be his. He hammers his face so his jaw will look more robust. Dude, why don't you just box? Why, why take a hammer and hit your face all day long? I'm gonna be beautiful. Why don't you just box once a week, twice a week? You're gonna be more robust. Why do you have to use a hammer? Like that's like, I want to look like a boxer, but I don't want to be a boxer. Guys, it's easier to be a boxer than to. It's easier to be a boxer than to look like a boxer who doesn't box. Trust me. And I saw a video of him getting like pinned by some like middle-aged man. And Clavicular is like a juiced up guy. He takes, I've heard so many people talk about Clavicular that I actually listened to one of his interviews. And he's a very intelligent guy. Very intelligent guy. And he's like, I take these steroids, I take these hormones, I do this, I do. I'm like, wow, that's crazy, man. That's just insane. Like, what are these kids doing? What are these young kids into, man? Like, what? Like, it's crazy, man. Like, every generation's into something crazy. Like, this is ridiculous. Oh, I'm so beautiful. I make myself beautiful. I beautify myself all day long. I'm just making myself more and more beautiful. Dude, I don't know if this guy meets women and women are into that. That's crazy, man. Because I think you might get your foot into the door, but after a while, the girl's going to be like, hey, he takes longer to get ready than me. He takes longer to get ready than I do. She's going to, in my opinion, she's going to start like, she's going to sober up and be like, I don't want this guy no more. This guy's a loser. This guy's like, he's all cosmetic. As a girl's going to mature, she's going to be like, no, this guy's not for me. He's so self-absorbed. I've heard another interview of his. Goodness gracious, he goes to Israel and he's like, oh, I want to be on the winning side. And that's why I'm coming to Israel. It's so brave of me to go to Israel because I heard his Pierce Morgan interview. It's like, dude, you're supporting a genocidal state. That's disgusting, man. That's gross. You're using your popularity to try to justify a genocidal state. That's sickening, man. And then I saw a video of some middle-aged man beating the hell out of him. Let me find it. It's quite sobering. What do I write? Jumped. He got jumped. All right, here we go. Jump. Let's see if it comes up. Oh, here it is. Oh no, it's the aftermath. Guys, it's a ridiculous video. He's being pinned and it's like he can't move his body. He's like so unbelievably helpless. It's ridiculous. Oh, I can't seem to find the video. No, it's just a bunch of people reacting to him. I'd have to find the exact video, but guys, he's on the floor like this, like, dude, you're all geared up, you're all juiced up, man. Can't you push this guy off you? He is so physically useless. He's all like, oh, look how muscular I am. I'm so in shape. Dude, you got arrested. You got pinned by a middle-aged guy who doesn't know any jiu-jitsu, wrestling, boxing, nothing. A guy twice your age, a guy who was probably like, this guy was out of shape, just pinning you down. Like, what's wrong with you, man? Like, can't you just push the guy off you? Can't you? He didn't even struggle. He was just like, I'm helpless. Embarrassing, man. Embarrassing. At least fight, defend yourself. Goodness gracious. No guts, man. No guts. Clavicular, X, no testicular. That's from Hamza. Look, I'll tell you. He's too I think he's young. He's just young. He's gonna look back and cringe at these videos, guys. I'm telling you. I think he's gonna sober up as he gets older. He's gonna mature. He's gonna be like, "What was I doing?" I was like, when I look back at my old videos and stuff, sometimes I cringe. I'm like, oh man, I was so immature. He's just immature and super popular, and his cringy days are just exposed to the world. But I do hope he sobers up and he realizes that promoting evil regimes, evil governments is really despicable. I really hope he has that realization in his life. He wears shoulder pads to look bigger. No way. No way. Say it ain't so, JC. JC Voyer, tell me it's not true. He wears shoulder pads to look bigger. That's embarrassing. That's humiliating. That's really like, wow. That's like pathetic. Pathetic. Wow. Have you ever done have you ever done an ollie on a skateboard? That's from Trig Rider. Tig Rider. No, I never had no, nothing. I've never been able to. I'm a skateboarding white belt. There's no way he wears shoulder pads. No way, man. There is some constant crackling in your mic whenever you speak. It's been going on for multiple streams. I am demoting you back to white belt coach. That's from boss. Guys, is there crackling or is just my voice? I kind of strained my voice. I think it's more my voice, not the mic. The mic's a really high quality mic. So I don't think it's the mic. But if other people want to give me that complaint, I will get a new mic, I guess. Do you feel the world's order collapse is imminent? If so, what's the role of martial arts in this timeline? That's from Bob the Builder. Are the world orders collapsing? No, there's always going to be a new civilization. One civilization is going to crumble and another one will arise. I think China's maybe our next superpower. I think America's kind of like slowing down and China's ramping up. And there might be a big war. I think, unfortunately, a big war. It's going to pop off. It's going to start off in the Middle East. It's going to ricochet off China. It's going to get Ukraine, China, Iran. They're all going to jump in. There's going to be, I fear it. I really fear there's going to be a major war where a lot of people are going to be shipped off to die. And I really hope humanity avoids this one. I really hope humanity looks back and says, never again. We said never again. We're not going to do it. I really hope, I pray that humanity doesn't make this mistake again. But I hear the rumblings of another horrible, stupid, useless war. The top 5 best gi players of all time. Wow, that's a good question, man. Okay, Hodger Gracie for sure. Braulio Estima, 2 of my friends. I can't leave them off the list. I know you guys are gonna, but those guys are up there. I gotta put Jacare, Robiero, Solo Robiero. Rafa Mendes. Guys, that's a tough list, but yeah, I think that would be my list. It's a tough one. It's really tough. Rafael Mendes, question mark. Are you kidding me? He's one of the greatest grapplers in the history of grappling. No doubt, 6-time world champion. One of the most unbelievable men to ever put on a gi. Absolutely, without a question of a doubt, Rafa Mendes. Absolutely. Rafael Mendes, excuse me. Rafael, were you correcting my? Sorry. Well, they call him Rafa too. So Rafael Mendes. Lucas Lepre, definitely. He's up there. He's definitely up there. Coach, have you ever gotten toenail fungus? How do you deal with it? No, I've never had toenail fungus, but I would put antifungal and or tea tree oil. All right, guys, it's time to end it. I know I said it earlier before, but we got to end it on something fun, man. Give me something light and easy. I prefer practicing jujitsu in the gi versus no gi. No gi is just hard to grab for me personally. That's from Ghost. Ghost, I agree, but you get over it. You develop a way to do it, and it's just as functional. Because what I don't like about the gi is it's so slow, and if you're ever in a fight and the guy's not wearing a uniform, it's like, how do you grab him? Then you're gonna be in a world of hurt. Favorite movie? Okay, guys, that's gonna be the last one. My favorite movie. I have too many favorite movies, but I'll tell you one movie that I absolutely adored when I watched it. I absolutely adored. I watched it in the theater, 3D. Was the Avatar, the first one. I absolutely adored it. I thought it was the retelling of the Christopher Columbus story. You know, foreigners, colonizers coming to the new land, discovering a native people, and just reaping their resources. And the storyline, the whole Avatar thing. It was just such a new, cutting edge way to tell a story. I absolutely loved it. One of my all time favorite movies. Guys, check out jujiclub.com. Use promo code GET50 off. Get 50% off anything on jujiclub.com. Make sure to check out Apex Meditation. I promise you guys, it is a life changing app. Enjoy it. Check it out. Try the free 1 week and you will love it. I guarantee it. Thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you all in the next episode. Thank you.